Okie dokie.
Okay.
Hi, Tim.
Ike Avelli, how are you?
You are in one piece.
Barely.
Ah.
And crawling across the finish line known as June.
Oh my God. Well, first of all, I am Ike Avelli.
And I'm Tim Moss.
And you're listening to
Loose Lips.
All our guests have loose lips, right, Tim?
Absolutely.
Oh my God. How are you after this month?
Pretty exhausted, actually. Pretty exhausted. But I'm exhilarated. I'm glad it's over. I'm glad it's finished. Yeah.
Yeah, you are the beacon for pride. Everything pride is Tim. I'm telling you. You
for pride.
I didn't want to say that, but you did. You have covered every territory in New York City.
Yeah, and pretty much every borough.
Yeah, literally. Oh God, I know you were sweating on Sunday at the parade.
Oh my God, yeah. But again, it's behind us. I'm grateful for that. I'm getting some rest now, and
and it was good to be out again. Good to be out compared to last year, right?
Absolutely. Oh my God, it was so joyous here in New York because we weren't sure if we were going to have any Pride events and all of that, and then everybody started coming out, and it was just like Pride Fest was packed. The Liberation March was packed. Thousands and thousands of people. It was just amazing. But just everybody being together and without masks and just it was very joyous, very glorious.
Yeah. I'm so happy you got to do this again because last year was just really a letdown. Ugh.
Yeah. I just want to give a shout out real quick. This shirt that I'm wearing is from the Fluid Project, which is PH Fluid. And what it is a friend of mine, Rob Smith, had opened a store. I think they had to close the store in the East Village, but it's online. If you go to thefluidproject and .com and check it out, all of their clothing is gender neutral. It's for any gender, and they've got fabulous clothes. I just love the Fluid Project. So,
and it looks amazing on you. It
does. Because you can see my clothes.
I didn't want to say it again, Tim, but fluid. It looks it fits you perfectly.
Yeah,
it's very nice.
Snug and tight.
Fluid Project.
Yes.
I'm wearing Nick Lyon. As you know, we had a trunk show after your show.
Yes.
Outside of Pangea. And this is one of Nick Lyon's shirts, which I love. Yeah. Oh my God. Love it. And I'm also wearing his jewelry.
He's always got your bling. He hooks you up with bling.
Well, this one I got from somebody who had a crush on me, but I won't see them for another 5 to 10. So. Oh my God, Tim, we are blowing up on Spotify. Spotify, we have 100 new listeners last week.
Yay!
Shout out all over the world. Way too many to mention in this episode alone because they are listening from all over the world.
Yes, well, I'll give a shout out to some of our faithful listeners, like in Cliché. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Cliché, France. In Toronto, Canada, Frankfurt, Germany, and of course, New York City. Yay!
Our home away from home.
Now, Uber Lube.
Yes. Our sponsor is Uber Lube. Every episode, we are thankful for Uber Lube.
Love Uber Lube.
Visit uberlube.com. They are a premium lubricant. They're nightstand friendly, glass, beautiful bottle. And not only does it look good, it feels good.
Yeah.
Hey, Uber Lube, did you hear that?
On both ends, because you can either use it as lube, or you can also have it in your hair, and it treats your hair. It makes it very what is it? Moisture.
The finishing product. Yes, the salon thing. The salons use it to finish their clients off. Win-win.
Yes. And speaking of win-win.
Well, right. We have a wonderful guest tonight. Yes. I know. Our guest tonight is an eclectic entertainer right here in New York City. She is a full-time transgender female. Now, throughout the years, she has created phenomenal work and performed in a variety of over 200 shows, which include singing, comedy, and sketches.
Oh, yeah. And also, she's acted in plays, films, web series, as well as she has written, produced, and directed 2 award-winning documentaries and 3 award-winning music videos. And that's not even half of it. But anyway, she's here to go into it all. So please welcome the fabulous one and only Fran Sisco.
Yes! Welcome. How long have we waited for this moment, Fran?
Oh, my God. Yeah, we have waited.
Yes.
I've been waiting. And here we are. And
you're just waiting. You're just waiting.
While, and then we weren't. Right?
You're just waiting for the whole "what did we just put in our mouth" segment. They're just face bad.
Yeah. I haven't eaten all day waiting for that.
Oh my God. Well, happy Pride. I know it's over, but it's not officially over. We celebrate 12 months out of the year.
Congratulations, and especially to Tim, because he was all over the place for this month. I really appreciate that. I did my little part today.
You did.
Yeah, I got my hair washed and blown, and I went across the street to the deli, and there's a new friend there named Miguel who had come up to me, and he introduced himself as a gay man like a couple of weeks ago, and he said hello again today. And then I said to him, "Did you go to Pride? Did you go to Pride?" He says, "No, I didn't go down to the parade, but he showed films in his backyard."
Nice.
And then we shared phone numbers, and I sent him a couple of my films for him to see. And one of them has to do with being in the Pride Parade and going up on top of the Episcopal Church float. And I realized, it was a couple of years ago, I realized that Pride has become a very big part of my life. Although I did not go down to the parade Sunday. I had some other things I was doing, but I feel like I've arrived as an LGBT person. Because for many years I didn't feel that way. Connected.
Well, you know what? Let's start right from the beginning. Let's start all the way from the beginning.
Yeah,
so
go ahead.
Tell us where you were born and raised.
Wow.
Yeah.
Born in Mount Vernon, New York, which is in Westchester County, north of the Bronx.
Okay.
And I was raised there until I was 14. I was born to an Italian-American family. We all 3 families lived in the same house.
Wow.
There were 7 houses on that block, 8 feet apart from each other. You could look out the dining room window and you could see the next family eating dinner. And nobody was ashamed of that.
Nope.
All but one family was Italian American. I grew up thinking that the whole world was Italian American. And also some of the not so good parts about being maybe a little more prejudiced growing up than I was. And there wasn't enough real room. Definitely wasn't room for a trans person. I was just dressing since I was maybe 9 or 10 in secret, thinking that I was going to go to hell. You know, it was ingrained in me.
So now, but Catholic,
Roman Catholic,
Italian.
Go to the Holy Name Society with my father, who was a member of that. Abided by all the rules. Except when I turned like 12 or 13, I started playing a really good game of pool. And I would, with my friends, we would skip out on church. We would go to the pool room. We'd shoot some pool. And at age 13, we started drinking wine, actually. And we were kind of ruffians back then.
Praise the Lord and rock them up.
And then on the way back, we would pick up the bulletin and then go home.
Oh, the bulletin, yes, the bulletin, yes. Oh my God, I love it. The bulletin.
The bulletin. But I was so, because I love my father and my family, and my grandfather and grandmother lived on the first floor. My father's brother and family lived on the second floor. We lived on the third floor. Basically, all 7 of these houses were structured the same way. It was like an instant ball game. All you had to do was walk out onto the street,
So cool.
The women had instant people to talk to.
Yeah.
Across the porches, there were these big porches, even though they were small, tight together houses.
Yeah.
So it was a real family
environment. Very community. Yeah.
A strong community. And the flip side of that was that I adhered to being the oldest grandson, a real boy, maybe a little macho.
Yeah.
Trying to fit in and for sure never telling anybody.
Right.
That I laid in bed at night saying about 50 Hail Marys, I would turn into a woman by morning.
Wow.
By morning.
Wow. So
I didn't share that with people.
Right. So question. So you knew from an early age that you wanted to be a woman, not a man.
That's right. I knew, even though when I got into puberty age, 12, 13, I shared with all the other guys the stories of masturbation and all of that kind of stuff. And I was turned on by women.
Yeah.
And to this day, I don't think I'm gay. I actually never really had I would say significant gay experience, an experience with a guy.
Right.
I had a couple of trysts here and there, feeling myself out, but I'm not like you two guys. Don't turn me on. I'm sorry.
Well, this interview was over. Stand those brownies back. No, but no. Then let me. Okay, I was going to just ask a quick question. So, as far as a relationship, you were strictly into women, and you wouldn't have a long-term relationship with a man if you did have the chance to. You just wouldn't.
I wouldn't. I do remember when I was so I lived in Mount Vernon until I was 14. And it was a very structured environment. There were very few Black people in our neighborhood, in my class or anything. There were very few Jewish people or Irish people, mostly Italian Americans and stuff. And there was one Hispanic guy that had long hair, probably this length. Wow. And he looked like a girl. And I remember meeting him. I was probably about 11 or 12. I remember he was like a new kid on the block. And I was taken by this guy, by the idea that he could have this long hair and look like a girl. This is what I really wanted, Only one I saw like that. I probably saw some on TV or whatever.
So it was more of envy rather than attraction.
Right. And then as I grew older, I moved into New Rochelle, which is a neighboring town. And there was, I remember, one guy on the bowling team that I imagined maybe being with him, kissing him.
Okay.
But that was it. It was kind of fleeting until many years later when I hooked up with a bunch of cross-dressers and trans people. I would go out clubbing when I was about maybe 25, 26 years old. Almost every weekend I would go out clubbing and meet people.
Now, were you single at that time, or were you married then?
Yeah, well, I got married when I was about 25.
That's what I was thinking.
Actually, I got married at 25, so I really didn't do that until either before I got married. Then when I got married, I gave up all of that. I'm not a cross-dresser. I'm not trans.
Right.
Because my wife and I were so connected physically. And so turned on physically by each other, it went out of the window, about
right.
That. But I did have envy for her.
Yeah. Right. What was it about putting on women's clothing and Was it the desire to be a woman, or was it more just the feel of it and bringing out your feminine side? I'm just curious.
No, I can't really properly explain it. But there's a line from I wrote a song called "Being a Trans Girl" based on La Vie en Rose, and there's a line in it that in French it's "Quand je suis féminin." Anyway, in English it's "When I'm feminine, I feel that somehow my world is more real."
Wow.
I like that.
That even the sort of the it's fantasy, but it made it more real. That this is really, when I look in the mirror, this is who I am.
That's the real
you. I had a party on Saturday night here. About maybe 12, 13 people came. And one of the guys I met for the first time, it was a client of mine's friend, who actually he lives in this guy's house. He's my friend's landlord. He came and he shared with me while we were in the kitchen, shared with me that his brother was a cross-dresser, possibly trans. And I took this fella, George, and he says, I can't understand it. And I couldn't really explain it. And I said to him, come here with me. I took him like by the shoulder and we went over to the mirror. And I said, see, that's who I am, is in that mirror. This is who I am. It's not. And then I pointed to the pictures of me as a man that are still on my hallway wall.
Wow.
I don't know what it is about it.
But somebody needs to hear that. You know what I mean? Sometimes, I feel like, yeah, I agree. And then when was the first time you were able to feel comfortable wearing the dress and the hair and the makeup?
Yeah. The first time was probably around 8 years old, in the bathroom, possibly with, and I'm not disrespecting my mom, but because I loved her dearly, but probably taking one of her clothing articles, locking the door and putting it on. In fact, there's a scene, I have a play called Once a Boy. There's a scene in the play of my father saying, "What's going on in there? Why you lock this door?" And he's thinking
you're masturbating.
Masturbating.
Right. Yeah.
On the door. But the real first time I did it, and I told the story on that stage in Stonewall a few years ago. I'm so glad I told it because I think it helps other people. First time I did it outside in the real world.
Yes.
I was about 10. And we would go up to Misquamicut Beach, Rhode Island, which is one of the first towns in Rhode Island. And my grandmother owned a bungalow there. And a lot of her brothers and sisters and stuff had places there. And we would go up there in the summertime. So anyway, this time was another time we would go up. I was about 10. About 6 of my cousins came in different cars. We get there and we're only like 2 blocks from the beach. And I very rarely was sick when I was a kid. I very rarely complained. I was always doing something, as you two, I'm sure, did.
Yeah.
But when we got there, I saw that my cousin Sally had with her this yellow suitcase, and it was opened on the couch in the living room when I walked in. And I saw this cute little dress sticking out of the suitcase and this pair of heels and stuff. And I said to myself, oh my God, do I have the nerve to do this? And I said, I'm not feeling good. And they said, well, we're going to town. The walk to town was like 3 miles, right? We're going to town. It's going to take us all day. We're going to have lunch in town. I said, I'm not feeling good. I'm going to stay behind. Frankie, my name was Frankie,
Yeah.
Frankie, you're never sick. What are you doing?
They're catching on.
I said, no, I don't feel well. Feel me, and I went. I played the whole thing anyway. Bottom line is, they left. I watched them from the window leave, way like a mile away. I got Sally's, and I told her this a few years ago that I did this. I got I'm 10 years old. I got her clothes, I put it on. I don't know why she brought it with her, but she had a little pixie wig. It was a cute little wig. I put it on.
Yeah.
I got her makeup. I did my eye because I had practiced eyeliner.
Yeah.
I'm like 10. I got lipstick and these little low heels, and I went out into daylight.
Wow.
And the sun was shining, and I felt
alive.
So exhilarated.
You felt alive.
I felt alive. I felt, even though I was alone, I was alive. And then, there were people around walking and everything. And then I noticed there was this one, I forgot the name of the street. I think it's Ocean Boulevard. This one main street that goes to the beach. I decided I was going to walk on that street instead of walking up. And people were beeping, not because I was walking in the street. I was sashaying. I was walking, down the street in these little heels. I was on top of the world. And now I'm buzzed out, because
you're turning heads. You're turning heads.
And I'm turning. And they're beeping. I think they're beeping because, maybe when they saw the front of me, they were beeping. But I felt like a girl.
Yeah.
Plus, you're 10 with makeup and everything. I probably looked maybe 12 or 13. And I was skinny, thin, a little kid, So I looked like a girl. I felt. Then, all of a sudden, I said, and I'm walking around, because of the wig, because of the sun, I'm getting a little dizzy. And because of being high. And I walked like a couple of miles, all around. All of a sudden, I said to myself, oh my God, this probably 2 or 3 hours went by.
Wow.
And I said, what if they're coming back?
Oh,
because if I was caught, I don't know. My father probably wouldn't have killed me, but in my mind,
probably pretty close.
That he would actually
Uh-huh.
beat the heck so badly out of me, I would die. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, but in the end, we know that parents love us, and no matter who we are.
We hope. Not everybody, has
but
that privilege.
At that
especially back then, this is in the 50s,
in that era, right? In that era, it's not done.
So I look back, Tim. I look back now. I asked somebody the time. I didn't have my watch with me. I asked somebody the time. They told me the time. I calculated that, yes, indeed, I have reason to be fearful. And I look up the street, and you could see, because unlike Fire Island, where it's a lot of vegetation, in Misquamicut, there are lawns and a few shrubs on each lawn. So you can see very far, and it's all flat. It's near the beach. So I look far, and about a mile away, I see this big clump of people. And
oh, my God.
6 cousins coming.
They were coming, yeah.
I took off my shoes. I rolled my skirt up a little higher, so I could run because it was kind of
faster.
And I literally a beeline. So I run toward the bungalow. I get to one side of the bungalow, and this story is it's perfect for this play and for the eventual film. It really is. And on the other side of blocking the view of me, they're coming to the house from the other side. Wow. So I'm shielding the look of me because of that. I get in the house. The timing was so close that, like a storm door, a screen door, when it closes it makes that banging sound.
Yeah.
That's what we had on this bungalow. So I realized that I couldn't just run in and let the door smash because they were so close. They were only 50 feet away, 100 feet away. They would hear it and they would know I was there, right? So I run in. I run in. My sneakers are still, on the side there. I run in. I go into the bedroom. I dive into the bed. Wig, makeup, dress, heels, everything. Just dive into the bed. I pull the covers over me, and I'm laying there, and I start going, I'm Mary full of grace, those with thee, blessed from the Jesus, Holy Mary, Mother God, perfect, now, Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee, blessed from life. And I'm praying that I don't get caught. And then, and I closed the door behind me when I went in, because that's how it was when they left. It was closed. The door was closed. So I'm saying it's like going to be impossible that they don't open the door 3-4 hours later and worried about me or something. So Sally says, I'm going to go in and see him because I'm see if he's still in there. His sneakers are here. I'm going to see if he may be really sick. And then Sally said that Joanne, the sister, said, and I could actually feel Sally's hand on the doorknob, from where I was laying. You know what I mean? I could imagine that she's going to open this door. She's going to come in. She's going to pull the blanket off of me. And lo and behold, she's going to scream. And then forevermore, my life is going to be ruined, right? That's what I'm. Instead, Joanne says, nah, Sally, leave him alone. Leave him alone. He's probably really sick. Let him sleep. We'll go to the beach. And then I had this tremendous sense of relief.
Yeah.
They all left. They went to the beach. I gave it about 10 minutes. I got out of bed. I took everything off. Actually, I stayed in bed for about that 10 minutes and
Before
just
you headed out.
prayed thank you to God for not.
And your Hail Marys.
Yeah. Well, thank God. Yeah.
So you then grew up, you got married, you had Kelly.
Well,
right?
One thing that lesson did was that it gave me a sense of almost invincibility too. And the extreme, I probably never had a high, even though I grew up in the 60s. I probably never had a high as big as the high I had that day.
Yeah.
Right.
And
that'll do it.
For the rest of my life, I would always, when I did cross-dressing or if I went out on a business trip, I would take an extra set of clothes with me. Everybody went to dinner. I would go to dinner with them. When they went home early, instead of going, I would dress up. I would go out to a club, go dancing. Sometimes almost getting caught, coming back to the hotel, a number of things. So I took a lot of chances in my life with my identity as a result of that day.
Well, after you got married, you said you kind of put that on the side, but I'm sure after a while it started to creep back in, that desire, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
When did that come to fruition and your life?
It was about a year and a half, 2 years into our marriage. By the way, I didn't tell my wife when we got married that I had cross-dressed, even though I told a couple of girlfriends I had before her, when I was younger, in my 17, 18 years. I didn't tell my wife because I thought I had kicked it. I dealt with it like it was a bad habit, sort of like kicking drinking or doing dope and stuff. So I didn't tell her, and I felt terrible for not doing that because she may really not have married me. Although we are still married. We don't live together as man and wife. She lives separately.
Right.
I still actually believe that somehow, some way, we're actually going to get back together as a couple. I still have that fantasy belief. She says, "Don't count on that. It's not happening." Fran,
Well, that's.
But a year and a half after we were married, I'm sorry for the long answers to these questions, but what happened was there was a Halloween party at my friend Billy's house. Him and his wife gave this party, and Lori and I were like 26 or so, 27. And I had always, from when I was 10 years old, gone out on Halloween as a girl.
Right.
It was like you can kind of get away with it, because it's Halloween.
Right. Yep. That's the easiest time to do it. Yep.
And so I would get away with it. But then when I got older, I stopped probably when I was about 15 or 16 or so. I didn't do it anymore. until this time when we heard that Billy was having a Halloween party. And I said to Lori, I said, you know what might be fun? How about if and I was very thin then, I was maybe about 130 pounds. I said, what if I wore one of Lori's beautiful girl, thin, you know, dressed well. She had this Albert Nippon dress that I eyed on her all the time.
Yeah, I have.
So I said to her, what if I wore one of your dresses? Because she said, like, what are you going to do? Go out and buy clothes for a party? And I said, no, what if I wore one of your dresses and I wore that coat, that camel coat that has that fur around the collar, and I could feel myself really getting into it. And she said, because I was very manly with her, you know, usually, you know, like I wasn't effeminate in my lifetime. You know what I mean?
But you know what? That had to be hard too, because in a way you wanted to have that effeminate side of you, but yet if you're out with her at a Halloween party, you still weren't given the full effect that you wanted to get.
Yeah, you're right about that, Ike, about that effect. For instance, I started writing poetry early, like when I was like maybe 14, 15. And I took cooking classes. So I surrounded myself with girls, and I was turned on by girls, and I had girlfriends, but I really just liked their company. And when the guys would start getting together and talking about football and stuff, I'd always gravitate over to the girls.
Yeah.
And so I was all about relationships and things like that. So with Lori saw my sensitivity through my poetry, through my songwriting, through my crying at a film that I'm probably the only person in the theater crying about, you know. So she saw that, but I don't think I ever shared with her that I dressed up as a girl. I don't think I ever shared that, even that big of event when I was 10. So we went to this Halloween party. The door opens, we walked in, and Billy and his wife Valley and some of the friends are looking at me like, who are you? They say, and Lori went as a guy. Wait. No. She went as a monster.
Okay.
Like a pale, ugly monster. She's a beautiful girl. So they looked at her like, ooh, Lori, you know, you're a monster, you know. And then I looked
beautiful.
Beautiful. And plus I'm 26 years old, you know, 25 years old. I look really hot. And then when they found out it was me, they said, oh my God, this is you. This is you.
They couldn't believe it, but were they going along with it, right? I mean,
they were going along. They were almost encouraging it, like that. Gee, this is odd. Like, how do you look so? And not only look good, but how do you feel so good as a girl? You know,
right?
I'm not stumbling and heels. And Lori got the feeling from that, and then I confided her. And then I started really at home, you know, dressing up. Usually not in her company. It would make her feel less of a woman, and it was upsetting to her. Yeah. So I appreciated that, and so I didn't do it when she was there, but in secret. I'm sharing this like publicly here too, not in any way to make anything more difficult from her, but everybody knows this anyway. It's all of my book that's
no, you're just sharing your experiences. Yeah,
I'm sharing my experience, and I'm also sharing it for the public, because there are people going through this secret kind of living now that don't have to. There's a way that they could come out, speak to their family. Like if in that, when I was 10, my father did, let's say they did pull over the blanket. They did see me as a girl.
Yeah.
My life would have changed, but I wouldn't have been killed. It would have been changed. And maybe they would have too abruptly considered me gay or trans or something.
Right. That's what I mean. That traumatic experience could have changed or altered your perception and your trajectory.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
You know what? The way my life right now, and especially at my age, I am so happy the way my life has turned out.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. There are many people who are trans, and this is a suggestion to trans people. Mm-hmm. Don't trash your prior. I can only really speak for trans females. Trans males are different. It's a different experience. But don't trash your prior male self.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Really not only acknowledge it, embrace it. And even if there's a trend in being trans now, to not go, as I think somebody on one of Wendy's shows says, not go to the last station, depends on what station you get off at. Maybe you stay in between, maybe you go this way or this way.
Everybody, that is something that each individual has to determine.
Right.
At what station they want to take the train to.
I love that. Right. I love that.
Go ahead.
And so in my life, what happened, and the years go by very quickly. So then my daughter Kelly was born. Lori would kind of permit me to go out. And I was in a high stress job as a CPA with Price Waterhouse, where it was very conservative and the whole bit.
Right.
And I was traveling a lot. So whenever I was home, I was with mainly her, or where I wasn't getting my experiences of being trans out in another way, I would go out clubbing. And that, some years a lot, some years not at all. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I took the contents of my whole closet and brought it out to the curb.
Wow.
And did it. I remember one year keeping one box and putting a sign on it in big, thick black magic marker. Don't open this box. It's ruining your life.
Wow.
And that's how I was approaching my life. Like I had to, and I would think about it almost every day, but I would hold myself back.
Yeah.
And then when I went out with friends, in fact, one of the friends tonight sent me a text as a female. Her name was Bree. It's Bruce. Mm-hmm. And Bruce and I have known each other probably 40 years now, 30 or 40 years. And we used to go out and clubbing, to be a group of trans girls. And we'd get into all the clubs fast because Bree would know the people and they liked to see us dressers in. And we had a lot of fun. And then Bree lived as a female before I did. And that went on for maybe 10 years. And then Bree went back to living as a male. Mm-hmm. And I recently saw him and speak to him. But with Lori, she was, what started happening is our sex life started taking on like a new dimension. There was like another person in the bed with us.
Yeah.
I became more and more like my feminism, or not feminism, but my effeminate nature came out in lovemaking and stuff. And that became, which I didn't realize at the time, that became very upsetting
problematic
to her. And she kind of went along with it, and it was unfair of me. But I didn't feel I was taking advantage. I was thinking this is after all, she said to me once, she says, if you want to go to Europe, when we were in our 20s or 30s, go to Europe for a year to find yourself, you should do that. We went down, she came with me to Johns Hopkins Hospital, considering sex change way back when, and going through their battery of tests and, exams and stuff.
That's a lot.
She was really and we went, and I went down as a guy, and then we did it for 3 weekends. The next weekend I went down as a girl, stayed with her in a hotel, got dressed up as a girl, walked past the construction site with this really cute blue dress on, getting whistles. She was right by my side. I got to really hand it to her. She was so wonderful.
Yeah.
And is still some wonderful person. And I guess I was so desperate to be myself that I guess I took advantage of that.
Yeah. Well, again, you were holding yourself back and doing what you thought was the right thing. But fortunately now you are living your authentic life. You live as a woman, as a female, correct?
Yeah. I haven't put on a pair of pants. Even when I do work around the house, I always wear a dress.
Yeah, well, no offense, Fran, I can't even put on a pair of pants these days. So you're not missing anything.
Well, there's so much that unfortunately we're not going to be able to get to. But one area is, I mean, you're the film festivals that you've been a part of, the films that you've done. Can you tell us about the MacArthur Awards?
Yes, this is something that I had mentioned to you that I'm very interested in because, and maybe because of being trans and seeing things from a couple of different angles, but I've always been creative, and I'm left brain and right brain. Left brain is the analytical side, right brain is the kind of the creative and relationship, and that may also be a reason why I'm trans.
Yeah,
people who have a left brain, right brain issue. And I also was hit over the head with a bat and caused more
oh my God.
Yeah, I was almost killed at one point in a hate crime.
Oh,
but anyway, when on January 1, 2011, 1/1/1/1, I took all my clothes to the Salvation Army. I took the K off of Frank and I became Fran. And I've lived since then, just a little over 10 years.
Yes.
And it was like unleashed.
Yeah.
People in my way, watch out. I was like, I started, and I was managing the care, I should say, of my parents. They were both ill. So I needed an escape also. Plus I was undergoing this transition, living full-time female, and trying to manage that with them and, all of that. So I need an outlet. I took up stand-up comedy. I went to classes and stuff. So I've been doing stand-up comedy since probably around that time. I was doing 3 or 4 mics a week.
Yeah.
Being on stage. Tim, I think you came to one of my shows.
Yeah.
I have to get to one yet.
Yeah. So I was doing all of that. So, and then that led to, oh, wait a minute, I'm an artist. I used to be an artist. Let me take that up again. So I started taking up in shows doing my art. Then I started doing inventions. And, and then I actually invented this board game that Pressman Toy Corporation took on. I invented a couple of other things. So I started getting into all these creative aspects. And then I read about this award that's given to about 24 people a year, called the MacArthur Award. This fellow, John MacArthur, made money at Bankers Life, this insurance company he ran. And he had, in 1950, I think it was, he had $9 billion, which is like $90 billion.
Oh my God.
And he gave 92% of it away.
What?
He gave 92% of it away, and he says, set it up in an organization and give it away every year. Give like the interest from it away. It's like an endowment to creative people. In fact, I want to read you this sentence. The MacArthur Fellowship is an award issued by the MacArthur Foundation each year to typically 20 to 30 citizens or residents of the United States of any age and working in any field and show exceptional merit and promise for continued and enhanced creative work.
Wow.
I write films, I write plays, I've written over 250 essays and songs. I got all of this stuff going on, and I've written physical inventions too. But according to the foundation, you two might even be up for it, right? The fellowship is not a reward for past accomplishments, but I had them, but an investment in a person's originality and potential. And
incredible.
As in South Pacific, I ain't done yet. Right?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's right.
Joan Rivers always says, reinvent, reinvent,
Oh.
reinvent.
Yes.
Hold on one second. I bought this coat the other day. Look what's in the inside. I hope it's not backwards.
Oh, we can't.
I can't
think
see
you have
it.
to turn it.
Okay.
Yep. The essential thing in life is to reinvent yourself.
Oh.
Stop it.
Look who signed it.
I can't see who signed
It's
it.
hard to see.
Karl Lagerfeld.
Ah,
Oh, very cool.
Lagerfeld.
Wow. And the other
Wow.
special touch to this
And,
is my
and
mother.
here we are. We're
My mother worked with him.
Oh,
And he included my
nice.
mother. And included
here
her.
Fabulous.
and we're just talking about reinvent too. Isn't that something?
Yeah, really.
I got the chills. I really did.
Perfect. Fran Sisco, I cannot tell you how proud I am of you. And I'm
Amen.
so grateful that you're in my life. You're just such an amazing
Oh, I am
being.
so grateful to have you two guys too.
You
I can't
are
imagine
a light, a big shining light, Fran. And I agree with Tim. So blessed to have you in our life.
Oh, thank you so much. And I
we're
feel
so glad.
so
And we're
honored
really,
to be part of the team, kind of the French.
Right.
Yeah, and we're glad that you're sticking around for our segments now that we have coming up. Hello. And Tim, would you like to talk about the first segment? Because I like the way you say it.
It's called "What the Hell Did I Just Put in My Mouth?" Well, this week we're putting big ass brownies in our mouth. Big ass brownies, and check out the size of these suckers. Do you have one there?
Yes.
Look at these.
Now there are
Look at
4
the size of them.
Which one do I take?
Anyone you
Whichever
want.
one you want. I
Do
think
I
I'm gonna
blindfold myself when I take one?
No.
You know, I could smell them, and they're sealed, and I could smell them. So anybody who wants to visit, you go to bigassbrownies.com, and they could also be found on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and they're at Big Ass Brownies. Look at that. Now I hate to say this. One of these, I think one of them has a Pop-Tart baked inside of it.
Yes. Oh,
and I want to see, this is in the middle, just in the middle alone, there's cookies.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I think I might be having the same one. Yeah.
They're like white Oreo.
Yes, I love those.
Right. So go ahead. Who wants to taste first?
It looks like a piece of Sicilian pizza. Actually.
Yeah, right.
You know, with a little mozzarella on the top.
So, Fran, you're our guest, Fran. You take the first bite.
So take the first bite of Big Ass Brownies.
I will say, we're going to give it up for Pride.
Yes.
God bless. We're going to say that little prayer for Pride and for everyone out there to enjoy yourselves, come out to your family as much as possible, and be wonderful with everyone. And get creative. And here we go. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
Mange.
Mmm.
Good.
Mmm. So many different flavors.
Right?
A lot going on in there, huh?
And textures.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to be very ladylike. I'm going to use a fork.
Tim.
Oh, my God. Uh-huh. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
They're unbelievable.
Oh, so incredible.
I'm going in for another.
I'm taking mine too.
Oh, my goodness. This is so delicious.
Oh
my God. It's got to be a white Oreo.
I'm having the.
There's a.
I think I'm having the same one as
tiny. It's like syrup, I think.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is amazing.
It is excellent.
Oh my God.
You know, you can actually take one of these and serve it. You can have 4 people.
Absolutely.
Have some coffee, and that could be the dessert. The whole, you don't even have to have dinner.
Absolutely. Oh my God.
Dare me to bring this to a Weight Watchers meeting.
Wow. Wow.
So we've been recording all of this?
Oh, hell yeah.
Good.
This is some good, this is some good
Kind of
stuff.
a messy way to eat it, but this is kind of a way to eat it. This is a Gabon way to eat it.
Absolutely.
Bigassbrownies.com.
I highly recommend. Now, if I can just stop eating it, we can go on to the next segment.
Big ass brownies. And each one is so visually interesting. Here's another one. Look at this.
Yeah, right?
Right? That's the one.
Delicious.
Here's another one. This one's similar to the one I have, but without a lot of colors. This is mainly.
Yes.
I think that's
one is
the one
the Cali Blonde.
So good.
Blonde kisses. They're kisses.
Yes, we have the we got the variety pack, each of us. And that one that you have that you're holding now is the peanut butter lovers. And then the other one that came in here is called the Cookie Monster, and that's the chocolate. Tim, you're eating the Cali Blonde.
What is this one?
Cali Blonde, and then Fran is eating the Katy Berry. And
excellent.
Big ass brownies. Thank you for your
And now
order.
where are they, and how do people order them? Or you already
You can go right to bigassbrownies.com. And this is just a variety pack. They have a whole selection of specialty brownies. And I think I'm going to have to go off my diet again. Remind me to not include Jenny Craig in this one.
You know what it says? It says it in yellow on the box. 1.5 pound of joy.
1.5. Yeah, until it lands on your hips.
I can't believe I ate the whole thing.
Took 100 pounds of brownie.
All right, so we are going to go into our next game, Fran. And this game is...
that was a good game.
All right, so we're going to play the game now. This is called What is Fran Thinking? Okay? Tim and I are going to give you a choice of words. So we're going to say something like cold or hot. Now, you can't say the answer. You have to think in your head, what would you say out of the two?
And then we'll write down what we think you're thinking.
And we're going to put down what we think you're going to say. Right, exactly. So if you had to choose between cold and hot, don't say anything. Do you want to write it down, Tim?
I got it.
Okay.
Do I have to write it down to prove it to you, what I was thinking?
No, you don't.
Nope. You're just going to say it. No, go ahead. Which would you pick?
So what did you say? Cold or hot?
Hot.
Oh, yeah. Hot.
So, okay.
That's great.
Tim and I are good.
You have to say why you thought it hot, or just that you thought hot?
Nope. Okay, next one. Tu Wong Fu or Priscilla, Queen of the Desert?
Oh. Don't say it yet.
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready.
Go ahead, Fran.
Priscilla.
Priscilla.
Wow, no kidding. Wow. I have an audition coming up on July 14th for Cafe Casa Valentina, actually.
Oh.
Do you know Casa Valentina?
No.
You know the show?
No.
Harvey Firestein.
Oh, I love Harvey.
A bunch of cross-dressers that went up to Catskill Mountains.
Nice.
And they back in the 70s, anyway.
Very cool. Cool. All right, next one. Cut or uncut? This doesn't have to be you.
I thought you had an N in there. Okay.
No. Cut. Or cut. No. Cut or uncut?
Oh, God.
It's Brajol time, Fran. What would you say?
Uncut.
Uncut.
Wow, this is uncut.
All right, Tim is winning as usual every freaking week. And this is the last one.
Are we going to talk about these choices or no? This is it.
No.
Because
Ranch,
Uncut Gems was one of my favorite films. Okay.
ranch or blue cheese? If I lose this game again this week, I'm going to be pissed. Okay, Fran.
Blue cheese.
Oh, I had ranch.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
It's tied.
It's a tie.
Yes. Deal breaker? We do a deal breaker?
Yes. No. You know what? We could. You want to do a deal breaker, Tim? We got one more.
Okay.
Chocolate or vanilla? Oh, damn it. Oh, I feel like Charles Nelson Riley on Match Game.
Ah!
All right, go ahead, Fran.
Vanilla.
I had chocolate.
I had vanilla.
Wow.
You won one, Ike.
Wow. Sorry.
Fran made me win.
Sorry.
Now, this is our last segment, Fran, because we're getting right to the very end here. This is Q&A and advice. So people send in questions or they'll send in advice too. So tonight we're lucky we have two. So we have Billy, Billie, from Chicago, Illinois. And this is for Fran. What inspires you when you are writing?
Usually it's something from my life and the relationships. That's what inspires me to write about. But I could really be inspired about anything to start writing. You know,
Right.
In other words, I don't need to go by the ocean or go to a quiet room. I write at any time, but it's often about relationships. I would tend to say.
Okay, that's great. Thanks. Then
Cool.
thanks, Billy from Chicago. And now we have Laura from Tampa who wants to know, how did we all meet?
Oh, Wendy.
Oh,
Yes, we met. Yep.
our friend Wendy.
Yeah.
Wendy Stewart. And I
Yes.
think
Oh
her
my God.
birthday or sometime around, because Fran wrote a song for Wendy about her birthday. Don't we all?
I actually
the
met-
first time I met Tim was at Wendy's birthday.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember that we met that night. And I went to the birthday party. Ike, you were there or no?
Yeah.
You were there, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
right. At the club. Yeah.
At the club. And I went prepared. And this, I don't even like to admit this about myself, but I went prepared to do that song, Our Friend Wendy. It's her birthday. I wrote the song then. I did the music. I was all prepared. I rehearsed it. I practiced it. I wanted to really do it for her. I got there, and whoever was the friend that was in disagreement with her or the others, and the DJ said, "Oh, no. We already have the set list. You can't do it." So I got and I went to someone else to say that, and then they said, "Well, I don't know. I can't help with that." And everybody was having such a good time, and I felt like I was pulling down the energy in the room.
No.
I stayed for 20 minutes and I left.
Oh.
I actually left. I think it was the first party of my life I ever left.
Oh my
I wish I would have known who you were at that moment.
I would have known too. Yeah.
Wendy said, do it a cappella, do it here. You know, she was.
Oh, that's Wendy. Yeah. Wendy. Oh,
yeah,
Wendy Stewart is the Wendy that we're talking about. Our friend Wendy Stewart.
Wendy Stewart. We love you, Wendy.
We love Wendy.
I just sent Wendy an email today about her Pandemic Cooking with Wendy show.
Yeah.
With a suggestion now that we're coming out of the pandemic. So,
yes.
Anyway.
All right, so now we have advice from Julia from Passaic.
Okay.
Bear with me because I have a little small writing. I have an issue. I am in college and I am not doing too well.
Oh.
My family will be disappointed if I don't succeed. I think the professor has a crush on me. Should I sleep with him to pass and make everyone happy? He is 22 years older than me.
What's her name? Rebecca?
Julia from Passaic.
Julia, please don't sleep with him for that reason. For maybe a different reason. Because you'd almost be using him as much as he's really using you. He's taking advantage of you. And you'd be almost taking advantage of the situation to please your parents. Your parents are much bigger than that. If you fail the class, there is life after failing the class. Mm-hmm. If you end up sleeping with him for a not good reason like that, it could set, because you're young, it could set in motion a series of events that will just continue. You'll become a loose lips woman. You know what I mean?
No pun intended.
No pun intended. So think carefully about that. Instead, possibly ask a friend who you may not even be close with to help you with the class, help you study and get yourself and put your every effort, get the intention in your head that you're going to pass the class, use every effort, use all resources, and maybe even ask the professor for help, but don't sleep with him because then.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I agree with Fran. I mean, if the professor's hot and you want to sleep with him for your own, just for your own sexual satisfaction, fine. Right. But don't sleep with him to try to get the grade. Try to get a grade to please other people, to please your family. First, and also, I don't know what course this is, if this is your major, and if it's your major, I don't know if is that what you really want, or is that what your family wants you to do?
Right, because that could be another.
You got to follow your path, and you got to find what makes you happy and do that.
Right.
Yeah,
that's got to be. Well, I say, as our good friend Jerry Blank would say, bring Mama home an A. Oh, Fran, we love you so much.
Oh, I love you too, guys.
I am so glad you joined us today. Finally, after how long we've been doing this. We want to give a big shout out to Big Ass Brownies.
Yay.
BigAssBrownies.com.
Big Ass Brownies.
Yes. Oh, Fran.
Love our Big Ass Brownies.
Yummy.
I would take another bite, but I ate mine.
So, Fran, tell everybody where they can find you on social media, your website.
Probably the easiest way is my website, which is Fran Sisco. And Sisco is spelled SISCO.com. And actually on that website, you'll get my phone number, email. My Facebook name is Fran Sisco. So it's not Fran. Fran was taken. So it's Francis, like the Pope spells it.
Yes.
With the I, CIS.
I love it.
And then Sisco, SISCO. So those are the two. I'm on Instagram too and stuff like that, but it's mainly Facebook. And I'm unabashedly interested in everything that I could say about the world and me and my friends and stuff like that. So if you go to my website or the page, you get an idea.
We love you. And I'm proud. Tim and I are proud to say that you'll be joining us with Eleanor Diamond Saturday, August 27th in Orlando, Florida at the Abbey Theater for 50 Shades of Gay. So amazing.
I'm telling so many people about it. And I'm looking forward to being with you guys. And in fact, the song that I think you said that I could do, right?
Hell yeah.
Is I texted the person who I co-wrote this song with Lee Harrison. Lee started the song and she wrote the bulk of the song. And then I did some editing and kind of changed it to a blues song. Yeah. And I'm hoping that she could actually come and be in the audience.
Oh, that'd be fabulous.
Would be amazing.
Well, we love our Fran Sisco.
I love Tim Moss and Ike Avelli.
And this is where we wave goodbye.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much.
We love you. Bye.
Bye. Love you.